Hello there. So I thought I would talk about the Tim Paul thing, and is it Jeremy Hamlin or something like that from the Quartering? So for the record, I'm a big fan of Tim Paul. I very rarely miss an episode of the Timcast, the podcast. I like it. I like the fact that they talk about the current politics and a bit of culture. And they do get into a little bit of culture drama sometimes, but they tend to sort of stay away from it a bit. And in the past, every now and again, something gets stirred up that the internet seems to go mad, and an awful lot of videos have popped up in my suggested feed over the last few days about meltdowns of Tim Paul, and he's a grifter and he won't address certain issues. So and just for the record as well, I used to watch quite a lot of the Quartering, and then I just got to a point I thought, yeah, okay, it's not really my wheelhouse to speak. Sort of cultural drama things. Having a go at certain Hollywood stars, and I dip in and out of that a little bit. It can be fun, but as a general rule, I just thought, okay, yeah, maybe because I'm like 50 odd, and it's just not. It's not for me. So what I did do is in the past. Sorry, go back. This Eliza Blue, is it? Ezra Blue. I might have that a bit wrong, but she's now becoming extremely famous, and it's to do with, I think, the fact that she was dishonest to a certain degree about herself being groomed, and it's to do with Andrew Tate. Which again, I didn't really get too involved with Andrew Tate. I thought some positive messages from him, but also, like talking about women like that, not really for me. I don't think that's the way forward for a polite society to sort of absolutely dominate women, and and he's got a harem of willing participants in his, I suppose, what you might call prostitution racket. But whatever. He was living a good life. Now he's maybe in danger. Anyway, try not to get too involved in that side of it. But she was on Timcast a while ago, and people in the comments were saying that talk about this, and she was refusing to talk about it. Anyway, so it seems that as well as probably doing some good work to help raise awareness for women that are being trafficked and groomed, she's also really trying to get very famous. And this seems to be a very good way of getting famous, doesn't it? By getting all of the internet, all the large players in the sort of the what would be perceived the right talking about it. But yet here we go. So on the Timcast from last night, which I watched earlier this morning, I didn't talk about it at all. And the whole time I was thinking, are they going to talk about this thing or not? And they were talking about serious issues, a Chinese spy balloon going over America, and all sorts of stuff going on around the world that should be talked about. And as Tim Paul did with the Jack Murphy affair, if anyone remembers that, he just avoided it, let all the hubbub go down, and then moved on and carried on. And people sort of soon forgot about Jack Murphy as somebody who preached about being one thing, but actually was into being pegged, I think, by his missus, and allowing other men to sleep with his missus, but then also trying to portray this very, very masculine approach to life, and it's quite hypocritical, maybe. Anyway, wicked beard. Anyway, so he didn't talk about it, and then it came around to the super chats, which is near the end of the show, so people pay to have their messages read out, and a lot of them were really having a go at him. Oh, how dare you ignore this? I'm unsubscribing. And I think Tim Paul's response was very, very satisfying to me. He basically pointed out that this Elsa Blue, or Ezra Blue, whatever her name is desperate to be famous now, and she's openly said that. And this could well be the work of PR companies stirring up the shit, and she's now famous. There you go. You got your fame. Do with it as you will. I wish you no harm, Elsa, whatever your name is. And there we go. And this will soon boil over, and people will forget about it. And I should imagine a lot of people will then go back to watching Tim Paul after they've had their little stroppy time. and I will carry on listening to him because I like the guy. But what I never do, and I would recommend this to everyone watching this, if you want to take one thing to take away from this, is don't put anyone on a pedestal. Unless you're deeply religious and obviously you have a prophet that you consider them perfect. I would say people following Jesus Christ. I think he's an extremely good example to live your life by. There's other prophets from other religions. I would say I would worry if someone was trying to live their life that way, because there'd be an awful lot of sexual slavery and sort of separating that part of your body here from this part of your body. I tried to put that as delicately as I possibly could to avoid censorship, because YouTube's quite touchy about things like that nowadays. I would say don't follow that person's example. But other than that, don't put anyone on a pedestal, because at some stage they'll show you they're human. This happened a while ago with Jordan Peterson, who I admire greatly. But there was a point where, who is it? Milo. He threw sort of Milo under the bus. I think he apologised later on for that. But don't put people up there as being perfect, because they're not. They're fallible. Every single person you've ever met will make mistakes, will do bad things. So don't put them on a pedestal. But respect them. But bear in mind that at some stage they're going to do something crappy, and you'll disagree with them. And if you've held them in such a high regard, a position of perfection, then you're going to be really hurt and disappointed. So anyway, I will continue to watch Timcast, Tim Pool. One day, who knows? I might even subscribe and help him out a little bit. But I'm more interested in seeing what's going to happen with Stephen Crowder. I'm waiting to see what Louder with Crowder does when it eventually comes back. Hopefully soon, because I missed that. Anyway, that's my take on this thing. So this will blow over, and everyone will carry on doing what they were doing. See you soon. Stay sane. Bye.